this is now part 4 of 9 on naming organic compounds. We are going to name alkynes, okay? So we're still on grade 12 organic chemistry, okay? Alkynes are hydrocarbons that have at least one triple bond between two carbon atoms, okay? Alkynes are hydrocarbons, okay? Hydrocarbons are compounds made up of only hydrogen and carbon atoms, okay? Alkynes are hydrocarbons that have at least one triple bond between two carbon atoms, okay? And the functional group for alkynes is a carbon triple bond. This one, okay? So this is the functional group for alkynes. And alkynes are named using the same rules as used for alkenes, okay? So if you watch part 3 of 9, you are going to see the naming of alkenes, okay? So the same rules that I have used for alkenes, you can still apply those rules for alkynes, okay? So I'll suggest you go back and watch part 3 of 9, okay? Which is on naming alkenes. I only have 2 examples that we are going to answer, okay? Example number 1 is this question, and example number 2 is this question, okay? We are going to name these 2 compounds. So 1, write down the IUPAC name of the following compounds, okay? We have this. So you can see this is the triple bond, which is the functional group for alkynes, okay? So this is an alkyne. So the first thing to do is to find the longest continuous carbon chain that contains the triple bond, okay? You don't have any branch. You only have 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon atoms, okay? And you have to number the chain to give the triple bond the lower number, okay? Number the chain to give the triple bond the lower number. So if you start from left to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, you can see the triple bond is going to be on carbon number 2, okay? If you start from right to the left, the triple bond is going to be on carbon number 2 again, okay? 1, 2. So it doesn't matter. Either way, you're going to have the triple bond on carbon number 2, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. You are done with the numbering. Now you are going to start with naming. So always name the branches first if branches are present, okay? If branches are present, always name the branches first, okay? In this case, you don't have any branch, okay? And after that, you're going to name the chain or the parent chain last, okay? So let's name this organic compound, okay? You are going to need this table, which you have to memorize, okay? So you have 4 carbon atoms in the parent chain. 4 carbon atoms in the parent chain. You're going to use the prefix but, right? But, and you have to locate your triple bond. The triple bond is located on carbon number 2, okay? So you have to use a hyphen and 2 and a hyphen again. Always put a hyphen between a letter and a number, always, okay? So you are going to use this prefix and you follow it with the suffix YNE, okay? You know that this is an alkyne because you have the suffix YNE, okay? So you are done naming this organic compound, okay? So now let's name this organic compound, okay? Number 2, write down the IUPAC name for the following compound. This is the compound. You have to make sure that all your carbon atoms are surrounded by 4 bonds. Okay, you can see that, for example, this carbon atom is surrounded by 4 bonds, okay? You can count 1, 2, 3, 4. Even this one, this carbon atom is surrounded by 4 bonds. You have 1 and 3 from these 3 hydrogen. All of them, they have 4 bonds around them. Even this one, 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one is between the carbon atom and the hydrogen. Okay, so all carbon atoms are surrounded by 4 bonds. You can check that. Okay, now we are going to name this organic compound. Okay, so as always, you have to find the longest continuous carbon chain that contains the triple bonds. In the case of alkenes, you have to find the longest continuous carbon chain that contains the double bonds. In the case of alkenes, okay? So the longest continuous carbon chain that contains the triple bonds can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have to include all the triple bonds, okay? You have 2 triple bonds, you can see, okay? And after that, you are going to number the chain to give the triple bonds a lower number. So it will be from the right to the left, because from the right, you have the triple bonds on carbon number 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, you have a triple bond on carbon number 1 and another triple bond on carbon number 5. Okay, 1 and 5. So you have a branch on carbon number 4 and another branch on carbon number 3, 2 branches. When the branches are made up of one carbon atom, the branch is known as methyl. Okay, so this is a methyl and this is also a methyl. Okay, one carbon atom. Methyl. The branch is known as a methyl when the branch is made up of one carbon atom, a methyl. So now you are going to name this organic compound after you have done numbering. Okay, so always name the branches first if they are present. Okay, always name the branches first if branches are present. You have the branches. So let's start. You have 2 of them. You are going to use di. When you have 2 identical branches, you are going to use di. So you have them on carbon number 3 and 4. So you are going to have 3, 4 di methyl. Okay, always put a hyphen between a number and a letter. We are done naming the branches. Now you are going to name the chain or the parent chain. Okay, so the parent chain is made up of 7 carbon atoms. You are going to use ept. Okay, you can see I don't have a hyphen between words, and you have to locate your triple bonds on carbon number 1 and on carbon number 5. So you are going to have 1, 5. Remember to put the hyphen between a letter and a number. And now you can follow this with the suffix YNE. But before that, you have 2 groups. So you are going to use di-ine. Okay, di. And you can follow this with the suffix YNE. Okay, YNE. So this is the full name for this organic compound. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's practice this question on naming alkanes. So you have this compound, write down the IUPAC name of the following compound. Okay, so how can you name this organic compound? This is an alkane, okay, not alkyne. Okay, so this is an alkane. Name the following compound. Okay, write down the IUPAC name of the following compound. Okay, so you have 2 possible ways that you can number the longest continuous carbon chain. Okay, so the first one, when you have this, you can number this compound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so you have 7 carbon atoms in the longest continuous carbon chain. Okay, so this is the longest. You can see you have your branch made up of 3 carbon atoms on the lowest possible number. Another way that you can number the longest continuous carbon chain is this one. You can go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can also start from 1, there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's still the same. Whether you have this as carbon number 1 or this as carbon number 1. So you only have 2 possible ways that you can number the longest continuous carbon chain for this compound. So between the 2, which one is the correct one? You can see that 7 carbon atoms. So you have 7 carbon atoms in the parent chain in this one. And you also have 7 carbon atoms in the parent chain in this one. But in this one, you have one branch made up of 3 carbon atoms. Okay, so you have one branch. In this one, you can see you have 2 branches, this one and this one. Okay, you have this branch made up of 1 carbon atom and you have this branch made up of 2 carbon atoms. Okay, so you have 2 branches in this one. So according to the IUPAC, if there are 2 chains of equal length, pick the chain that has more branches. Okay, you're going to pick this one because in this one you have 2 branches, but in this one you have 1 branch. Okay, so this is wrong numbering and this is the correct numbering. Okay, so you don't want to do this. You have to do this because with this you have more branches. We are going to choose this numbering. Okay, this one. So this is the correct numbering. We have it here. So this is your branch and this is your branch. This one is known as methyl, 1 carbon atom, methyl, and this one is known as ethyl, 2 carbon atoms. You can see that from the table. Okay. So number of carbon atom, 1 carbon, the branch is known as methyl, 2 carbon atoms, the branch is known as ethyl. Okay, 2 carbon atoms, ethyl, 1 carbon atom, methyl. Okay, so now we can name this. You have to write down the name of the branches first, always. So you have methyl and ethyl. You are going to start with ethyl. Okay, you are going to do it in alphabetical order. E comes before M. So on carbon number 3, you have an ethyl. Okay, 3, you have an ethyl. And on carbon number 2, you have a methyl. Okay, methyl. On carbon number 2, you have a methyl. Always put a hyphen between a number and a letter. Okay, you are done naming the branches. Now you are going to name the parent chain. The parent chain is made up of 7 carbon atoms. You are going to use the prefix ept. Okay, you are going to use the prefix ept. Okay, and you don't have a hyphen between words. And you are going to follow this with the suffix ane. Remember, you are naming an alkane. Okay, you are going to follow this with the suffix ane. So this was for practice. Okay, until next time, I will talk to you soon.